Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live Patreon hangout for Halloween of 2018. I'm Captain Logan. Usually, we do these just specifically for the patrons on Patreon, and it's just patrons that hang out with me and that get to see this after the fact. This show, we always yearly broadcast live to the entire channel, and we're going to go ahead and introduce everybody. Everybody's wearing Halloween costumes. And so we're going to introduce everybody to you and find out what Halloween costume everybody's wearing. First of all, look, it's Malik Myers.
Hey, everyone. I'm not actually wearing a Halloween costume because I'm on duty right now. I'm actually on my shift in uniform.
Cool. Thanks for being here anyway, man. Yeah, Malik's done that at least a few times. You know, I want to say the last 3 or 4 shows I've seen you on, you've been on your ship.
Well, I want to say like the most 2 recent ones I've been in my barracks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. But I knew you were on duty someplace. Yes.
Well, when I'm at my barracks, I'm not on duty. But yeah.
Oh, okay. But not like. But I'm just saying, like, not at like an apartment or something.
Well, yeah. It's good to be here. At least like here on the live chat. But yeah, I have to be on the ship for Halloween this year.
That's unfortunate. What costume would you be wearing if you were wearing a costume? Well,
here's the ridiculous thing about Virginia. You're not allowed to actually go out and trick or treat if you're past, I think, 13 or 14. If you're any older than that, you're not allowed to trick or treat.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of adults don't trick or treat, but they still go to a party or something in costume.
I stopped trick-or-treating when I was like 14.
Yeah, there are those.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if one of my friends is throwing a party, I'd probably go as PS4 Spider-Man.
Is what Spider-Man?
PS4 Spider-Man.
Yeah, sure. And you have the hoodie. He was wearing that last time. Malik was wearing more of a costume the last time. Hey, look, more patrons are showing up.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? Okay, so, hey, Jeffrey, what are you going as?
I'm going in my, as Ron Swanson would call it, Halloween costume, in that I wear this on Halloween, and only this. A hat and a coat and a pair of glasses. Truly revolutionary.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of looks like how you usually dress, except without the glasses part.
Geek-volutionary, if you would.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, Jeffrey.
Same here.
There's Hawk Flame.
Hello. And I'm clearly going as Deathstroke.
I think you look more like Daredevil to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a really great Daredevil costume. You know, they've been talking about making a PG-13 Daredevil movie at Christmas, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Stupid.
I think it can be done right if they do it the right way. If they really lay into like the fact that it's PG-13, and sorry, it's impossible to talk like this.
Yeah, we can hear you though. It's pretty. So that's cool.
It's impossible to breathe in that thing.
Oh, okay. But High Flame, do you agree with me? Like, I think they could get away with a PG-13.
I think if they really leave the fact that it's censored, like every time that they say the F-bomb in the movie, they just completely like overdone it with something ridiculous. Or something
as
like
long as they cast Ben Affleck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I should not purposefully keep making that mistake, or I'll just make it worse.
His costume is red. I could have sworn he was Red Arrow.
Hey, Justin, are you wearing a bag on your head?
Well, I am the baghead after all.
Yeah, there's the baghead guy. Justin, we can barely hear you, buddy.
Well, let's see. I didn't have my mic.
Oh my God, are we gonna actually see his face for the first time?
Hold on.
Oh my God, I didn't think he was gonna come with an actual webcam, you guys. Okay, so real quick, I got to talk about Justin for a little bit. Justin is one of my writers in the creative writing group, and the first time we met him, it was just his picture, and he didn't have a webcam, and he swore he was wearing a bag on his head because it says Bag Studios, but we couldn't confirm it because he wasn't actually on screen. But look, he is. He's wearing a bag on his head.
I am, in fact.
Oh my God, it's fantastic. I love that. That's a great face,
too. Me with it on my head, but I am, in fact, wearing it.
Again, Justin, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I want you to be like the unknown comic. I never want to know what you actually look like.
Oh, I wasn't planning on taking it off.
I just love this constant mystery that will never be solved. It's like Eric refuses to watch the last episode of Firefly because he can't deal with how short that show is, and he doesn't want there to have been like no Firefly episodes that he didn't see. So he will not watch the last episode of Firefly. I want to be like that, just a mystery that is never solved.
That's hilarious.
There's Grady.
I'm dressed up as nothing really. I just kind of put this mask on to protect my identity. I've been musing about possibly getting some clown makeup and dressing up like Heath Ledger's Joker, or Joaquin Phoenix Joker, who's basically John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah,
seriously, he looks just like John Wayne Gacy. I think it's impossible that they didn't use him as an inspiration for that look.
What do you guys think, Lazy Ninja?
Yeah, Lazy Ninja. That's the best way to describe me.
I love the pillow. Like, I'm trying to imagine where your camera is exactly.
I'm using a MacBook Pro's webcam.
Okay, so it's just on your lap.
Well, actually, it's not. Well, it's kind of lifted up.
He's gonna do the whole show for like 45 minutes like this, just like holding a laptop above.
I'm close. I'm holding a phone.
Building your upper body strength.
Expect every chat cap for me to wear a different mask. And each one is going to get stranger and stranger. And you have to wonder if I'm just showing up just to weird everybody out.
But we need some bit of consistency so the pillow can never change.
All right. Okay.
That has to, you've always got to be lazy whatever, you know? It's like next time, maybe like lazy Rorschach, you know?
Lazy Nylon.
Lazy like frowny bag face. Lazy Optimus Prime. Speaking of, hey look, it's David Crabtree. And he's being a Transformer.
I'm Optimus Prime. Actually, I was going to go with the times and be Amazon Prime.
That's great.
That's pretty great. Yeah.
You look like
you could be a Transformer made out of an Amazon Prime box.
I did. Well, I did. No, I didn't actually. I was thinking about where I got this printed because I actually drew this and printed it out.
Oh, you made that? Cool.
Like cut. Yeah, I've been drawing so much robots lately. I'm like, hell, I'll just draw my Halloween costume this year. So
cool. Look at that. I can't say I've ever drawn my own Halloween costume.
I have. I once went as Halloween as No Face from Spirited Away. I basically just drew a mask and wore a black cloak.
I mean, I think when I was a little kid, I probably drew like a Ninja Turtles mask, but I don't think I like wore it out. I think even at 6 or 7, I knew that didn't look good enough to take it somewhere. Connor.
Well, everybody, I just want to say it is an honor to be amongst losers tonight.
That is me.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe me.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, as you can tell, I'm Star-Lord, right? Right. But with the shedding of a coat, I am now Owen Thunderguns from Jurassic World. They got blue. Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
Well, his shirt's blue in the second one.
I was going to say, he's in the attic right now of Jurassic House.
You know, it's funny. I decided to appropriate Jurassic House. I call it Jurassic Mansion. So
that's fair.
If I get any royalties from that, I'll send you 50%.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah. No, I mean, no, that's true. It is a mansion, but it's just funnier to call it a house, especially because it is referred to in the movie almost exclusively as a house.
See, I was fighting sleep during that movie. I must have missed that.
Like, people do refer to that because you remember the guy that owns it? He's like, my house! And, yeah.
You mean the scene where James Cromwell was like, I'm going to be sitting down the whole time during this movie. That's all I'm going to be doing during this movie. So you're going to wheel me around.
I don't think James Cromwell's in good health. I think that's why that is. And And is my guess, because like he's looked like the last few movies he's been in, he's kind of deteriorating. But also, did you notice that Cromwell, and like he's a good actor. I mean, like he's an Oscar-winning actor. He was like 12% British in that movie. Did you notice that?
Oh, well,
like,
yeah, no, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it seemed like he was like, I'm only here for the paycheck. You're not getting a British accent out of me. My daughter and my maid are going to have British accents. I'm not. I'm going to be sitting down the whole time. So I'm going to have a cane, but I'm still going to be in a wheelchair for some reason. And when it's time for my death scene, we're just not going to show it because I don't feel like acting. So,
yeah, and I've never seen it. I've been told he does a really good British accent in some movie. Which makes it even funnier because he just doesn't even try. It's crazy. I love Jurassic House so much.
Anyway, remember he died.
He does. Yep, he dies. You remember that? Yeah, he gets killed by the bad guy. You remember the scene where they drop the cane and the amber breaks, and then I'm in the theater going, "Would amber shatter?"
Yeah, I forgot about that. I hate it.
Maybe it would. I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, for some reason he doesn't hear the dinosaurs down in the underground Rick Sanchez lair.
Somebody in the comments was asking, "Who's the guy on the far left?" Well, that's what's amusing about Google Hangouts is that layout is different for everybody. So my far left is Connor, but in the actual video, Blue Dragon 5 says it's Malik. But for me, Malik is on the far right next to myself. Malik, we're neighbors.
Are we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I live next to your ship. You never thought you'd see a ship next to a Batcave, but there it is. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and thanks for being there, the few people that are watching in the comments. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. If anybody in the comments has a fun topic or question for the whole group, feel free to throw it out. I'd like to start with a Halloween topic, and that is, can you think of a costume anytime in your life when you were a kid or more recently anytime for Halloween that you tried to put together or you did, but it was, for whatever reason, a massive mistake? Can you think of a costume that you tried to put together that just didn't work or was really lame or did not turn out the way you were hoping it to? And anybody, feel free to jump right in if you've got one.
I've got a ginormous one.
Go ahead, Jeffrey. We'll start with Jeffrey.
I can wait.
No, go ahead.
I tried to specifically go as the Red Hood, the Jason Todd Red Hood from the Batman and Robin, the Grant Morrison run. And I didn't have anything to make that. Didn't have anything close to that outfit because it's just kind of spandex with shapes or any kind of red hood. So I just put a red motorcycle helmet on and I couldn't see out of it. And I was going around to houses, and I've told this story before, but I live on a giant hill. And I was walking down through someone's garden, and I just took one step and I just fell several feet. And just landed in this rock, and the only thing that saved me was the stupid helmet.
Oh wow! So
everyone thought I was going as a Power Ranger.
The moral of the story is always wear a helmet
and bring a towel.
Okay, this is a costume not necessarily from Halloween. This is actually a cosplay I did last year. I actually went to a convention as Han Solo. And the short story is the vest was great because the vest I actually bought, like a real one. Everything else just was a disaster. The pants I bought the pants I bought so similar looking pants at like a Goodwill, but they were way too big. They're way too baggy, so they kept on falling off. I built the holster by myself out of like this fabric that they had at like one of those fabric stores and like some fake rivets they could glued on. That was just falling up. That just kept on falling off. Everything just basically kept on falling off. Like I had the stripe he has down the pants. Yeah. In the original trilogy, I just put like red tape. It was just red tape, and just again, the whole story is that everything kept falling off. And so I went to the convention that I was going to, like, with just basically my hands in my pockets the whole time, just because that was the only way to keep everything from staying up.
Wow, that's unfortunate, Hawk Flame.
Yeah.
But I do really like your Daredevil suit.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a good one?
For dress rope.
I was gonna go one year. I tried putting together a costume that was Golden Age Superman, like before he had like the the logo we all know was just like an upside down triangle with an S in it, and
Yeah.
you could find like those spandex suits and everything.
Yeah,
just
like essentially Fleischer, right?
basically, yeah. Problem is, I was never much of an arts and crafts kind of person. So when I just like took the scissors to it, everything had like these jagged edges to it, and it looked homemade. It really looked kind of bad. And putting together the fabric and stuff, I had no clue what I was doing. So I just kind of threw it together, and it wasn't very good. And then I spray painted some boots red, and I've never really used spray paint for a costume by that point. And so all the paint just started peeling off of it, and I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing. So it was bad.
Oh no! Do you have pictures?
I have pictures, all right.
I want to see them.
I'll send them to you later, maybe.
Thanks, Connor. I won't show them to people if you tell me not to, or if you're nice to me.
I mean, they're public. I mean,
Oh, they're already public.
You'll find them.
But Connor, it's helpful to have things to hold over people's head in case you need them.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Anybody else have a good one?
Well, about 20
one
minutes
time
ago.
in
Who said 20 minutes ago?
I did.
Sorry. Go ahead, Bagface.
Before I became Bagface once again, I wasn't planning on. Our Halloween was actually tonight in my county, and
weird.
Because we're expecting bad weather tomorrow.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
All of the Halloween stuff was moved to tonight. I wasn't planning on going or anything, but my college friends called me up and said, "Hey, why don't we go down to the Main Street gathering and just walk around in costumes?" So I'm like, "Okay, fine." I went to Walmart looking for anything that I could find cheap, and I found a dinosaur head on a stick. So I went. At first, I thought, "All right, well, I'll be Chris Pratt from Jurassic Park because it was blue, obviously, and I'll just be trying to tame this."
He's
dinosaur.
right there. He's right there.
Yeah,
He's coming. Just a second.
I was trying to impersonate you, but anyway. So I got this. Not horse head, dinosaur head, and realized, okay, I don't look anything like Chris Pratt, especially because I have a bag on my head. So, I made a hat out of tinfoil and decided that I was a dino doomsayer. The end is nigh. The dinosaurs will get you.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you were a dinosaur Alex Jones?
Yes.
And then it probably looked half deliberate. That's very creative. Good job. Good job. Way to make lemonade out of lemons, man. That's great.
Life gave me lemons. I made lemonade. Too bad I didn't have any sugar.
Who else?
yeah, I have one.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so one time I decided to dress as one of the vampires from 30 Days of Night for Halloween at my high school, and I did it at high school. I think while everyone was at lunch, and I was using fake blood. I was gonna throw some fake blood into my mouth, and I kind of accidentally started like drinking it, and I choked on it and like spat it out all over like a few of my classmates' books, and it got on the floor. It was just a huge mess.
Oh my God, that's like a Carrie situation, dude.
Yeah, and then I accidentally dropped the bottle and spilled fake blood all over the floor. And
oh no!
Yeah, so then I freaked out and left the classroom, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna commit to this. And I went like running around the school, like screeching like a vampire and scaring people. It was kind of fun.
I thought you were going to say you just leaned into it. You just started throwing blood at everyone. You were just like, I've got it.
Well, everyone else was at lunch, but when they got back, they were pretty peeved that there was blood everywhere.
Oh man. Okay, I don't think anybody can top that. That's pretty rough.
Oh God, the blood.
That's a bad. That's a bad day. Anybody else?
One time, I think it was around 2009. I was about 13. I'd stopped trick or treating around the time I was 14. I think this was 2009. I tried putting together a Batman costume, and it was sort of a mismatch of a bunch of different things. I made a yellow symbol out of some gel material on a gray shirt, and I wore the Christian Bale mask, which makes no sense since.
Oh no! Justin took the bag off his head.
I couldn't breathe.
Oh, I've seen his face. No, I know his secret identity.
If that ever happens to me, Cap, I'm gonna have to get plastic surgery and change my face.
It's no longer a mystery, Justin. Oh no!
There was a tear in the bag. I had to hold my face.
You could have turned off the camera, and then you could have just kept saying it a bag on your head like you lied about last time. Nah, you're a handsome man, Justin. Anyway, I'm sorry, Grady. What were you saying?
Basically, I tried to assemble a bat suit. I don't think it came out very well. I can't really say anything else. A lot of my Halloween costumes are kind of a blur to me. Much like most of my childhood.
Blue Dragon 5 says, hey Justin. Blue Dragon 5 says, it's called air holes, man.
Even this mask has... I can still breathe out of this mask, and I can still smell my dog.
Well, that's unfortunate. Unless your dog smells wonderful.
Well, actually, she's actually far... She's actually a distance away, but physically she is, but her smell is probably.
Why do you just smell like your dog got in the mask, and so the smell is still there?
No, she sleeps with my relatives in their room.
Blue Dragon 5 says you could always pull. This is from earlier. You can always pull a Deadpool and use a magazine cover for Chris Pratt's face.
Yeah,
just staple it. Yeah. Okay, so mine is the Joker twice in my life. I botched up a Joker costume on two separate occasions. Third time was the charm. I had a really good 89 Joker costume in college, and I rented the actual suit, so it looked perfect, and then I got really good makeup. But first time out, I was living in Arkansas with my dad, and I was like 11 or 12, and I decided I wanted to do the Joker, but my stepmom didn't want me to have white makeup all over my face. She was worried about it getting like too close to my eyes or whatever. So she just like drew a smile on my face, and it looked awful. So you just had to tell people what you were supposed to be. Like, I carried around a Joker action figure just to show people what it was supposed to look like.
That's the only way you could save that at that point.
That's what I did. Yeah, it was. I love my stepmom, but that did not work out. It was just if your costume is use your imagination, why wear one?
Maybe you could have tried compromising and just like wore sunglasses while applying the white makeup, and just the circles around your eyes would be normal.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea, but like I couldn't get her to do the white at all. And then when the year I met my wife, I tried to do a Joker again, and I got really cheap white makeup that just cracked everywhere, and it looked fine for about 20 minutes, and then it just started cracking, like I was a broken ceramic or something, and it started chipping off, and it was awful. That was really bad. Oh. So yeah, I botched the Joker twice. But then I finally did it right. And that was cool. I don't like to do that costume now because I usually have facial hair. So, I have to shave and stuff. But
you do Caesar.
That's true. You do Caesar Romero. Right. Okay, so let's look at the comments here. We had a couple of decent questions. Best Universal monster. Who's everybody's favorite Universal monster?
I've never seen one of the Universal Monster movies. I started Frankenstein and Dracula, but it was 2 a.m, so I didn't finish them.
I've never watched most of them all the way through. I have to say Dracula because that's the only one I've really spent time with, but it's been a while, but yeah.
I haven't seen the classic ones. I've seen Kong Skull Island, and I've seen the 2014 Godzilla.
Those are Warner Brothers, bro. This is Universal.
Okay, this is Universal, yeah. Kong is not a Universal monster. Yeah, we're talking Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula, Frankenstein, Invisible Man. Invisible Man I like a lot, too.
Okay. Lon Chaney Sr.'s Phantom of the Opera. I have seen that. That is Universal. It counts.
Does that count? Is that part of that whole?
It's Universal, and when you go to the Universal Studios House of Horror, there's a Phantom of the Opera in there.
Wow.
There's also a Nosferatu, so if he's public domain and he counts, then yeah.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Does the stage play for Phantom of the Opera count? I saw that the other day.
I do like the idea of the Universal Frankenstein, though. I do think there's something kind of creepy about a body, a being that's stitched together of other bodies, and sort of what, and because he's sort of a misunderstood character. He's not real, from what I could tell. He's not really like, he's trying to sort of make his way in the world, or so to speak. But he's trying to figure things out, but he just doesn't really understand. That's why he does things like, there's that creepy scene where he throws a girl in the water and whatnot, which I've seen. I've seen most of that movie, but I haven't sat down and seen the whole thing in a long time. Well, that'll be my choice.
Actually, because I haven't actually sat down and watched any of the old Universal movies, but the one that I actually love that's black and white and is Frankenstein is Young Frankenstein. Yeah, that's my favorite version of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I have a lot of blind spots in the horror genre, and I'm embarrassed to say I've never seen Young Frankenstein. That's like one of the biggest blind spot movies I have.
Well, but that's more of a blind spot in the comedy genre. I mean, that's a classic comedy.
But there's two comedies that always come up that are Frankenstein related. You have Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and you have Young Frankenstein. Those two are always coming in as like they're great Frankenstein movies, and I've never seen them, and I really want to.
Yeah, but like that's a lot of people's favorite Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
Abbott and Costello have a movie called Hold That Ghost that is one of the funniest and, when I was a kid, scariest movies I have ever seen in my life.
I've never heard of
That's
that.
the haunted house one, right?
Do what?
Is that the haunted house one?
Yes.
Yeah, that is. I remember.
Candle keeps moving on the table.
Yep.
That's the scene that I remember the most.
David, my favorite thing about your costume is that whenever you talk, the head just goes up and down like this. It's fantastic. It looks like Optimus Prime is constantly nodding and smiling, like like a really diplomatic politician, just like. That's Optimus Prime.
Optimus Prime comparing to a politician.
Yes, I did that. He's like, roll out. Do that. Yes. Do that. He's like just rocking it out to
anyway, Lincoln Park, obviously.
I am fixated on what that head looks like. Anyway, okay. Did anybody else want to talk about Universal Monsters, or shall we move on?
Does anyone remember that I Frankenstein movie with Aaron Eckhart?
Oh, I saw that in the theater.
I don't think anyone remembers that at all.
I didn't bother with that because it looked too much like Legion, and I won't touch anything that looks like Legion until people tell me it's good.
Bring Steve Jobs back to life.
I saw I Frankenstein in a theater. I was the only one in it.
Well, that's why nobody talks about it.
And he loved it.
Oh no, it was the worst movie of 2014 I saw. So
I'm sure there were worse movies.
Yeah, I saw 65 movies for that. I didn't see a whole lot of movies from that year, so I don't know. It was the worst of the 65 I saw. So
worse than Age of Extinction?
No, Age of Extinction was the second worst I saw. Age of Extinction is a movie that starts off like, oh my god, plot points are happening at like a semi-regular pace. Like, what is this? This isn't a Michael Bay Transformers movie. And then by the time you get to the end of the movie, it's like, I feel like they took like good characters and like not good characters, but like likable characters, potentially likable characters, and by the end of it, they've turned into Michael Bay Transformers characters. Like, there's these psychotic killing machines, and it's like watching a soul die. And so it's like I hate that movie. So
I think the problem with that movie is that it kept going. Like there were 100 places you could stop, and it might be all right, but it just kept going.
And then like the part at the end where he like rips off Lockdown's head, and he's like, "Honor to the end." What does that even mean? Like, it's just. Like,
I have a theory about that film that at first Michael Bay wasn't going to direct it, and someone else, and Aaron Kruger was writing it for somebody else, and then Michael K came on. They did some rewrites, added in some Bayisms, and that's why the movie is the way it is.
I could believe that.
What do you think, Optimus Prime?
That movie's 3 hours long, and I don't remember any of it. I saw it in the theater. I'm positive I did. I don't remember any of it.
I remember dinosaurs, and I remember Cade Yeager.
I remember Optimus Prime on Grimlock. That's it.
There's
Grammar was in it.
Oh yeah, Kelsey Grammer was it. It's difficult to forget a name like Cade Yeager. He sounds like, and that's the only way I can say that. Like, if that comes up, I have to say it in that voice.
Okay, so the Irish boyfriend of his 17-year-old daughter in
it's
that
like a
movie.
Killer Instinct character, right? Like
That whole Romeo and Juliet thing was that law thing that they
Oh
just
my
popped.
god. So that guy, like the guy who plays her boyfriend, I was like, this guy sucks. He should never be in movies. And then 2 years later, he was in a movie called Sing Street, which is like the best.
Transformer. That his car was supposed to be a transformer.
Yeah, but I don't know. That actor can act. If anyone's curious, he's good in Sing Street. He's excellent.
Good to know.
It's one of the best movies of the decade. So watch Sing Street.
Also, the daughter of Cade Yeager is played by the girl who played Not Katara in the M. Night Shyamalan Last Airbender film.
Okay, but is she in something else where we can say she can act?
I
Oh,
know.
Bates Motel.
She's in that Psycho.
Wait, what is she in Bates Motel?
I don't know. I haven't seen Bates Motel.
She is the girl in Bates Motel.
She's the main girl in Bates. Oh, so and are we talking about the same girl that's in why can't I think of the name of that movie? The big Spielberg movie with all the geek stuff.
Ready Player One.
Yeah, Ready Player One. Is
Ready Player One.
it the same girl?
No, that's Olivia Cook.
Oh, okay.
One of the darkest moments in my history as a YouTuber is giving Age of Extinction a positive review when it came out.
Oh.
Well, we all make mistakes.
That's my Suicide Squad. Or no, Batman versus Superman, wasn't it?
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, like, I've got that infamous moment where I'm like,
Yeah, same here. I actually kind of liked it, but then a week later, I don't remember any of it.
no, I gave Age of Extinction a somewhat positive review too, because compared to the rest of them, it was okay. Like, it's still awful.
I love the first and third one. The second one was barely watchable. Fourth one, that was one of the ones where even the trailers couldn't even disguise how bad it looks. So I go in because I'm a mild Transformers fan, and yeah, I walked out and I was kind of numb, and I didn't have any reaction to it. I just okay. And then I went out on obligation to see this last one, and that was just I almost literally walked out of the theater. That was just it's
David, for a minute when you started talking, I thought someone else was talking, and I was wondering why you were on the screen.
I had that too. I don't know why.
I thought, oh no, David is talking. That's why I'm looking at Optimus Prime right now.
So with that fifth Transformers movie, I hadn't seen the first one since it came out. I hadn't seen the second one since it came out, and I never saw the third one, and I barely remembered the fourth one. So me and my brother binged all four of them before seeing the fifth one.
Eric did the same thing in the commentaries. Remember that?
I don't know why we did that, but by the time we got to number 5, like I was like glazed over in the eyes. And when I went on in to watch it, now I hate the Da Vinci Code.
Boiling water.
I hate the Da Vinci Code and Angels and Demons and Inferno. Like those, like Tom Hanks, Robert and whatever movies are like terrible. And it was like someone had taken those movies and a Transformer movie and like put them together, and it was like going to hell. Like it was painful. True. All people do is explain the plot while they're going from plot point to plot point, and it was driving me crazy.
So finally, it looks like they're giving us the one that they want, though, that we really wanted now with Bumblebee.
Maybe, hopefully, yeah.
It was not Michael Bay. That's the only hope.
Do a Transformers 6 that follows up on the fact that Unicron is Earth.
Is it really?
Yes. There's still that Transformers Prime. In the film universe, Unicron is Earth.
Okay. Solar Dragon says you're giving Cat PTSD.
I really like the first and second movie.
Like once you that much the Transformers. I'm sorry, what are you saying? What are you saying, Malik?
I was saying I really like the first and third movie.
There's fun stuff in 3.
I like the first one quite a bit. I can't get past any of the rest of them anymore.
All right, well, I got a topic if no one else has got it.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Sure.
So I wanted to ask you all if you guys had like an underrated or maybe overlooked like horror movie or spooky movie or some kind of Halloween related film that you guys like.
Oh yeah.
So one of my things, and I champion this movie because it's not great, but I think it's great. It's so much fun to watch. It's a movie by Wes Craven from 1991 called The People Under the Stairs. This movie,
I've heard of that. I've never watched it.
So entertaining. You think it like the posters advertise it as this weird, moody horror movie, and when you watch it, it's basically. Do you guys remember that movie from a couple years ago, Don't Breathe, about like the kids who break into the one guy's house, and it turns out that the guy who's blind is like actually like an ex-Marine guy, and he's like really like trying to hunt him down in his house. It's like if you took that and crossed it with the Goonies, and it was awesome. It's so much fun, and I don't want to spoil, but there's like scene after scene after scene of really funny situations that they get into, and it's got Ving Rhames in it. So,
yeah, I saw that movie years and years and years ago once. I remember enjoying it, but I don't. Beyond that, I don't really remember much of it. So, yeah, I'll give it another shot.
And if anyone, I know no one here is a Twin Peaks fan except for Jeffrey, but Big Ed and Nadine play the evil couple in that movie. They're the owners of the house that get broken into. And they're awesome. And they were cast because Wes Craven was watching the show, and he put them in there. It was pretty cool.
And if you want to remind everyone how old I am again, I actually saw that. I was 13, but still I saw it.
We discovered his age last show, and we were all just really floored.
I have this really small movie that I watched one time. And honestly, Cap, you need to make Eric watch it. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Hocus Pocus.
I think I've heard of that before.
Totally kidding.
I'm just gonna turn off my own camera now. I don't want to talk about that. I have no interest in talking about Hocus Pocus. You guys could just look at my head on top of the logo.
Oh no, Hocus Pocus is awful. I was just referencing After Dark. I'll put the bag back on my head now.
Yeah, he got smart. He poked some holes in it.
No, it's still, it's intact.
No, but do you have a movie?
No, it was just Hocus Pocus. That was it.
Oh, he just wanted to troll me with Hocus Pocus.
Yep.
That's all he was after. So I can't think of anything I haven't reviewed, but I'm going to throw out Prisoners. Hugh Jackman, 2013. More of a I guess thriller than a horror movie, but it's pretty creepy. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. That was the movie that made me realize that Jake Gyllenhaal doesn't tend to pick bad projects, and he and Jackman are both just really wonderful in that. It's got a pretty twisted, messed up ending. It's great.
I don't know if you know this. That's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I knew that when I saw 2049, but I forgot all about it. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense with the sensibilities in 2049 too, because of course it's haunting in places as well. I also remember liking The Cell. Anybody ever seen The Cell? 1998.
I saw that. Sounds a quite good review.
With Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good.
That movie's messed up. I keep wanting to make Eric watch that. That was on my horror list this year, but I didn't get to it.
One that actually, and this may not be obscure, it may be more known than just anybody around where I live knows. I had never heard of Hush until I just watched it on Netflix one day, and it's amazing.
I've never seen that.
It is amazing. It's Mike Flanagan. Yes. He did Gerald's Game. He did something else recently.
He did the Ouija prequel that was actually awesome.
That was what he did.
Yeah.
And Hush is really, really good, and I had never heard anybody talk about it, and it might be more popular than I think, but
it's a fairly pretty well-liked movie in the horror community. I'm part of a lot of horror groups on Facebook. Yeah, people really like that movie.
I don't know a whole lot of big horror fans. I'm not in any horror circles or anything like that, so I'm kind of out of the loop on a lot of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of most of my horror tastes are fairly mainstream. I'm trying to think of one. The closest I could think of is Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Yeah,
that's that's I don't know how underrated that is because that's kind of a if you've taken a film class, you've probably seen that.
Yeah, Vince had to write about that.
That was a very good. I saw that years ago, and the fact that it was silent just made it even creepier.
No Solar Dragon. I have not seen The Witch. We were talking about that on the last show. Yeah, I've never seen that.
That was pretty good.
It's really good.
I saw that not too long ago.
The girl from Split is the main character in that, and she's also great in that.
Oh well, you don't have to tell me twice. I'll go watch that.
And then both she and the chick from Ready Player One are in Thoroughbreds, which is a really good movie that came out.
Oh, cool. Yeah, those are both actresses I think are really good. So
and they're mesmerizing, and it was Anton Yelchin's final role, and he is awesome in that movie.
Oh man, yeah, I'll have to watch it. What's that called again?
Thoroughbreds. It came out earlier this year.
Okay, cool. I wish I had time to see more stuff in the theater.
Hey Cap, you mentioned the witches earlier in the earlier show.
Yes, that's horrifying.
I saw that a lot as a kid, and that, even when I was little, I remember thinking this movie is just weird. But yeah, I was just.
Was it because it was on the Disney Channel all the time? Is that why we kept watching it?
I think so. I just remember that witches makeup when their faces come off and their noses grow and everything. It's so creepy.
Yeah, like the dissolving, it's disgusting.
Yeah, and it was Angelica Houston played the main witch. And Rowan Atkinson had like the
doll book.
Yeah. It was one of those movies. We did this a lot in the 80s and 90s that would be like based on children's material that was also like fairly like creepy and weird for kids, but in book form it didn't seem as like wrong as it did in a film where you're just like, no one should be watching this. Like because children, this is not for children.
One of the main plot lines to the movie is they eat children. They can smell them, and that was what. And they were making like this children's stew. It was. The memory. It's starting to come back to me. Just how messed up that movie is.
I kind of like it when.
Yeah, me too. Stop it.
I like it when movies aren't afraid of killing children. Like in Halloween 3, the scene where the kid dies is like one of the most visceral and like crazy scenes. It was awesome. And the snake comes out of his face and fights.
Which is nuts because one of the clear-cut rules for the previous films, the Mike Myers movies, was you don't kill children, and then they change the continuity. They go to 3 and they just blow a head up. Yeah.
And spoiler alert, they're okay with that in the new one too.
They are.
Okay, I watched you guys.
Babies though, they draw the line at babies.
Yeah.
When you guys had said Teenage Foggy Nelson, and I went and saw the theater, and that guy popped up, I was almost like choking. I was like trying to conceal my laughter. And Spencer's like, "What's so funny?" And I turned to my brother and I say, "It's Teenage Foggy Nelson."
It is. There's no other way to describe him, right?
He sounds exactly like him. He looks like an awkward teenager version of Eldon Henson, and his mannerisms are down pat. It's crazy. It's
Teenage Foggy Nelson.
Is he Eldon Henson from Mighty Ducks era?
I was about to say, to me, Eldon Henson's always, he's always, what was his name? From the Mighty Ducks. He was always like a foot taller than everyone else's age. In those movies. I think he stopped growing at like 17 because he's the same height he was 20 years ago when he did those movies.
My underrated horror movie has to be The Collector. That's one of my all-time favorite slasher movies. It's produced by the same guys who did most of the Saw films, and it's about a guy who's an ex-con, and his wife owes money to this group of gangsters, and he has to get that money paid off, or the gang's going to come after her, and he decides to go and rob this rich family's house, like take their like prized diamond or whatever. And sell that off so that he has the money to pay these gangsters off by the end of the night. So he goes there to try to steal his diamond, and he finds this serial killer who's like turned the rich family's house into like a death maze, and there's all these crazy traps, and he has to try and save what members of the family he can that are still alive, and get out of the house with the diamond.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that last show too. That sounded. Has anybody else seen that?
I haven't. I remember. Was there There's a sequel called The Collection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember seeing a trailer for The Collector that came out in 2009, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember seeing a poster for it when I went to go see Transformers 2. And I don't know, I thought it looked like a cool movie.
It is very good. You need to watch it.
All right. I really like movies that are about like over one night, all this crazy stuff's gonna happen. And
Yeah.
I think it's a fun premise.
And it is one of those flashes where like they get you to care about the main character, and it is pretty brutal and gory, but it's not torture porn.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll check that out. That sounds really good. Does anybody else have a little known horror movie you want to mention? There's another good question in the comments here I'd like to go to, if we can.
I don't
Okay.
know if Ghost Story really counts as a horror movie or not. I don't.
Did you say Ghost Story?
Yeah.
I almost brought that up earlier. Wow.
It's fantastic. It's
Atlas Krieg.
Do what?
Wait, are you talking about Ghost Story or A Ghost Story?
A Ghost Story.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the 80s film with Alice Krieg.
Oh, okay. No, I was talking about the one from last year.
Oh, okay.
And then earlier this year, there was a movie called Ghost Stories, plural, and it's an anthology movie. So,
wow. Okay.
There's a movie I just discovered about. God, it was actually earlier this year. It's William Shatner stars. It's called A Christmas Horror Story. And William Shatner, it's like an anthology type movie, and William Shatner plays this radio DJ called Dangerous Dan, and he's kind of like and he's talking about, and there's these kind of horror themed Christmas stories that go on throughout the movie, and there's kind of like a tying thread throughout them all. It's actually, and then by the end, there's this kind of twist. But it's actually quite I think it was only, I don't think it ever came out theaters, probably one of those direct to VOD movies. But it came out in like 2013, and I remember I can't remember what streaming service I saw it on, but I just remember watching it. I was like, wow, this is it's really kind of effectively creepy, and it was a role I totally didn't see him playing. So it was yeah, Christmas Horror Story. If you can find that online, it's check it out.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
that
Actually,
movie sounds.
I totally forgot about this one. It's one called from the 90s called Tales from the Hood. It's like it's this urban themed like horror, basically horror anthology. There's 4 stories in it, sort of Twilight Zone style. There's one about this old racist who gets killed by these little African little African American dolls. But there was one that's particularly interesting with David Alan Grier from In Living Color, where he's this abusive stepfather to this kid who abuses his wife, and this kid has this active imagination where he draws stuff, and everything he draws sort of happens in real life. So that what happens is basically there's this incredibly ridiculous inventive scene where the kid draws the stepfather, but starts crumpling it, and then the stepfather in real life actually starts getting crumpled exactly like in the drawing. It's hilarious and creepy at the same time, and there's 4 it's 4 anthology stories. There's one connecting thread about them, about the people. There's this gang. But what happens is there's a gang that enters into like this there's like this mausoleum or something like that. I think or some kind of mortuary, I believe. And like the mortician there's telling them these stories, and at the end it turns out that they're not actually spoiler alert again. Like it turns out that they're not actually in the mortuary; they're actually dead, and that the mortician themselves is basically Lucifer. And so that's the one thing I could think of right now. I don't know why. I just really enjoy that one. I don't even remember what the other sequences were. I just really enjoy that one particular sequence, which was.
Isn't that the big twist for like 85% of horror movies with twists? And someone was dead that you thought was alive.
They were dead the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah, we do that all the time. No, I didn't know that was an anthology movie. I knew I had heard of that. But
it was made mid 90s, I think. I think I saw it on like Showtime once, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat is another great anthology.
Was directed by someone else.
See, that wasn't too mainstream. Good job, Hawkplane. What were you gonna say, Malik?
Trick or Treat is another great anthology horror movie.
That's what I hear. I really want to watch it.
Yeah, Anna Paquin's in it. Who else is in it? I can't remember his name, but the actor who played Kurt Connors in the Raimi film is also in that movie.
Yeah, Dylan Baker.
Look, Malik, now you just are PS4 Spider-Man.
Yes, I am.
The ship disappeared. It disappeared.
It took me a second, but I think I actually just thought of an underrated horror movie I can recommend.
Okay, go ahead, man.
He Never Died. It came out a few years ago, starred Henry Rollins, who was the bassist of the character Negan, except he can't really act, so even though he auditioned for it, they said, nah, I think we'll take a pass, even though you look exactly like him.
Can you imagine if that had happened with Sam Jackson and Nick Fury? No. We know that character was kind of based on you, but no.
They'd probably get sued if they didn't do it. I think that's why they cast him, was to avoid a lawsuit.
Yeah, no, that is actually part of like some sort of a lawsuit deal. He has to play Nick Fury unless he releases that right.
What?
In exchange for not suing them for the use of his likeness, he made an agreement with them. At least this is what I understand. I heard this years ago. He made an agreement with them that he has to play Nick Fury if ever they make a Nick Fury anything.
That's amazing.
That was that Ultimate Nick Fury in the Ultimate Universe was, I believe, his likeness was based on Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson read one of the Ultimate comics, and then his lawyer contacted Marvel, and Marvel said, to avoid a lawsuit, they said, hey, well, if we ever make anything with Nick Fury in it, we'll cast him in it.
Yeah. So, real
Maybe
quick,
something
we got just a couple minutes left. Solar Dragon wanted us to talk about scary video games. So, just real briefly, if anybody has a video game you thought was really scary, throw that out.
Oh,
Bloodborne.
Outlast. I can't sit and watch anybody play Outlast. I've never played it myself, except for
He can't Outlast.
Yeah, I cannot.
Bloodborne
It's
because
too
of
much
the
for me.
imagery. Has anyone here besides me played Bloodborne?
Yes.
It's not really a horror game. Well, it kind of is. It's more the imagery is horrific, and it's though I would describe it as horrifically beautiful, especially in the latter half when we kind of start to get into the spoilery parts of it for people who haven't played it and want to play it.
Anybody else have one?
I also think Resident Evil was pretty creepy, especially if it's the fact that it's isolated to the one house, and there's if I recall correctly, there's very little music, which I always thought was even scarier.
Which Resident Evil you talking about?
The original one.
Oh, okay.
The Evil Within. That's a really
Okay, so Malik, that was what I was going to bring up. I played half an hour of Evil Within and then sold it at a yard sale.
Wow.
I could not handle that.
Yeah.
It freaked me out so much, I immediately sold it at a yard sale.
I am so proud of myself for beating that game. I think it took me damn near a month and a half to finish beating that game.
Was it just because it was hard, or did you have to take a break from it?
It wasn't even hard. It was just super scary, and I challenged myself because I'm only going to play it at night. And
I did the same thing. I don't want to do a thing like that without turning the lights off, but I couldn't even deal with it.
You know, Cap, it's too bad that you didn't get your PS4 before April 2015, because then you could have subjected yourself to PT.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The playable teaser for Silent Hills that was canceled after the Kojima kerfuffle.
Okay. Is that just also really scary like that? Or I don't know what we're talking about.
If you've ever seen any Let's Plays, it's kind of freaky.
What is the beginning of the Evil Within like? I think I have also played part of that.
You're tied up. Like, I want to.
You're tied up in a slaughterhouse, basically.
In a slaughterhouse, yeah.
And you have to escape.
And your leg's broken, and you got to crawl across the floor, and there's blood everywhere because it's a slaughterhouse, but also some of it is yours. And then there's like a
Yep.
And then there's like a chainsaw guy that chases you. I don't remember if it's a chainsaw. I forget what it was. There's a guy that chases
Yeah,
something.
it's a chainsaw guy.
Yeah,
and you have to run
I
and
actually-
evade him.
and you gotta hide in a locker, and then like I remember it vividly, but I couldn't play anywhere. And then the place I kept getting stuck is there's this bit where there's these like spinning blades that you got to get past. Where you're like trapped in a room and there's these spinning blades, and they just kept cutting me up, and I couldn't even deal with it.
I think I played like a few minutes of that one also. I can't do scary video games. they're I don't do horror well in general. But
Malik, I commend you for getting through that, but I also wonder just how desensitized you must be now to everything.
Oh, I mean, I've been watching horror movies since before I could talk. So
Yeah, but that tells you something about Evil Within, that it bothered even you.
yeah, that may be like the scariest video game I have ever played.
Are you gonna bother with 2?
Yeah, I do want to eventually get around to seeing if I can knock out 2. Because like both the first Evil Within and Dead Space, like that, hands down, scariest games I've played.
Now, Dead Space I did play some of and didn't get far enough to get to a lot of really creepy stuff, but I loved what that game looked like. I would like to go back and look at that at some point. That's real like sensory deprivation and that kind of thing.
This is unrelated.
Yeah.
But I don't know, super far down the line. I do want to force you to review the first season of American Horror Story.
Oh, I don't know if I can do it, man. I watched the first episode of that, and that also, it was a little bit of an Evil Within thing. I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, Cap, if you don't want like that, are you dreading, Cap, the day that someone on Patreon, maybe like me, forces you to watch the Human Centipede films?
I draw the line there. I won't do that. I know the premise of that. I've read Roger Ebert's reviews. I won't do it. I cannot bring
recently
myself.
watched the third film, and I gotta say, I kind of like the third film for just how ridiculous it is.
Are you going to be okay?
I can barely see the Saw. I can barely tolerate the Saw movies. I don't know about
Wait,
that.
are you going to make it? I'm legitimately worried about you. I really am. No, you can make me watch quite a few things. I don't draw the line at much, but I will not watch that movie.
Movies.
Yeah, well, that goes without saying. I'm certainly not going to watch the sequel to movies I refuse to watch. Like, that's obviously. Sorry.
Is it safe to say that those movies are connected?
Oh yeah, they are. But you see, the thing about them is that
David, when we're talking about the most disgusting, horrible things imaginable, can you leave the dad jokes at home?
Yeah, I mean, I was resisting the urge to say that William Shatner movie sounds goddamn dangerous. Boom! Yeah.
Boom! Boom! Did anybody else?
I misheard, and it wasn't actually William Shatner. It was William Shatner.
It was William Shatner.
Okay.
Anybody else have a horror game you wanted to throw out and talk about here for a second? We got to get going here in a minute.
Well, I guess it's more thriller, but I adore The Last of Us.
I started that and I liked what I played of it. I got to finish it.
I'm not interested in that.
You have to finish it. That is a rewind-worthy game.
Yeah.
I loved Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest.
What a horrible! What was it? Like what a horrible night to whatever. I forget the line.
Or a curse or something, yeah.
And the clues that make no sense. Justin, that's my wheelhouse because I'm a huge retro gamer. That's why I won the competition there. But yeah.
Yes, Hawkflame had no trouble with those questions.
Luigi's Haunted Mansion, definitely a contender.
They're making a third one for Switch.
Oh, cool.
I am really excited about the Resident Evil remake. I think that looks fantastic.
Oh, wait, you meant the remake to the original, not the remake for the second one, which is coming out next year.
Well, yeah, I mean the remake for Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
Oh, that I got to look forward to because I love the first game.
I actually own 2 Resident Evil games for PS4. The 7th one, Gold, which I haven't played yet, and the Origins collection, which is Resident Evil 0 and the remake for PS4.
How comfortable are you, Grady? Is that a pretty comfortable pillow?
Yeah, it is. Are you talking about how comfortable I am with the things that I like the Human Centipede 3?
No, I'm not. But now that you mention it,
I need to make this clear to everyone.
I know, Jeffrey. I know you like Legion. I know you want me to watch it. Just get off my back, okay? I'm going to do it. I just haven't gotten there yet. You don't have to pick it up.
I can be a very twisted person at times, but I won't let that ruin any of our interactions, I hope.
No, Jeffrey, I was thinking about that just the other day. I was like, I gotta get back to that show.
I'm really looking forward to checking out this movie you recommend. You were talking about the other day, We Are Legion. This sounds fast.
We Are Legion.
They ain't gonna know what hit them.
Look.
The Will Smith film I Am Legion.
So yeah, I thought I was talking about I am Legend is what I was talking about, but I accidentally said I am Legion. And when you're on camera as many hours as I am, you're gonna say stupid things. It's gonna happen. Yeah, thanks for remembering that, David.
Well, it was last night. It was last night. I think you posted that was on the After Dark. So
yeah, but if you're gonna forget something from that video, I would have really appreciated if it was that.
Okay,
we're patrons. We don't forget.
I know you don't. Yeah,
that should be our motto.
One of these days, I'm just gonna do a video where I'm gonna say nothing, and then people are gonna be like, "Hap, why aren't you saying anything?" And I'm like, "Well, I just keep messing up," and then people make fun of me in the Patreon chats.
It's like one of those joke videos from Red Letter Media. Like one time, Rich and Jack from Previous Recorded did this April Fool's review for Mass Effect Andromeda, where it's just 20 minutes of them sitting around and cutting up copies of Mass Effect Andromeda that fans sent them because Rich does not want to touch that game.
That's funny.
I've never done anything like that. When people send me things, I tend to at least keep them, even if I don't end up getting around to them. I don't tend to take scissors to things.
Rich Evans is completely bitter towards the Mass Effect trilogy after 3.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people were.
Like Shazam, Adventures of Shazam, what was that thing called?
What are you talking about?
Never mind, it was a related.
Oh, I'm not sure what you're talking about.
You said sometimes you'll keep stuff that you get.
No, I just don't know what that is.
It's that Shazam cereal I sent you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that's what you were talking about. I thought you were trying to bring up another thing that people were upset about because it got bad. Now it's like, what are you talking
my bad. I'm sorry. Whatever. Like I said, forget about it. Let's move on.
No, I'm not gonna cut up the box set you sent me. I'm gonna watch it eventually. Okay, well, folks, thanks a lot for watching, and thank you guys, patrons, for being here and hanging out. We will do it again next month, but it won't be broadcast live to the channel. So if you would like to join us, you can become a patron at just the $2 tier. Just the very bottom tier gives you access to this this stream thing that we do, this hangout, and it's first come, first serve. We can only put 9 people besides me in a chat. Sometimes Danny's here too, so sometimes we can only get 8 people in here, and we almost maxed it out this evening, but you can jump in and try to join us. So, Grady, it was good to see you, man.
Oh, sorry. If you guys are wondering, that was my cat, Logan.
Oh, you have a cat named Logan? That's cool.
I didn't name him after you.
Did you name him after Wolverine? And then when he gets really old, are you going to call him Old Cat Logan?
I was trying to figure out how to work that in.
I don't know. I was just kind of searching. My cousin was just kind of pressing me for a name that day, and I was like, her kid. Here's the thing: she was taking care of him for a while, and her 4-year-old son was gonna start calling him Bubbles, and so I was pressed for a name, and I was just like, I think I looked at your Facebook profile and said, Logan.
Well, if that's the case, you sort of, in a roundabout way, named him after me.
I gotta call him Catton Logan.
I would call a cat Bubbles. It's my favorite Powerpuff Girl. You're like, come here, Bubbles.
Well, him and his his sister were calling him Baby Cat or Baby Kitty.
Yeah,
His sister's 2 years old, so yeah.
that's the kind of thing little kids tend to name things. Yeah. Hey, Justin, was this your first show?
Yes, I had tried to get in once before, but I had technical difficulties, and
I've talked to you before.
Yeah, in the creative writing
Group. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
cool.
As far as live show, yeah, no, this was the first one that I've actually been on. So
well, it was good to see you, man. I'm kind of bummed about the back thing, but
I debated it, but I decided oxygen was worth it.
That's understandable.
It was a tough choice.
Well, guys, thanks for being here. Sure appreciate it. I will see everybody again later on, and I'll see you guys next month. I am Captain Logan, and I'll see you later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Stop it!
Halloween, silver shamrock.